So there was another section where people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be running that fast," like this is a long race. But now when I think about it, 100K isn't that long.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Finally some good weather.
Yes.
Good running weather.
For a long weekend, too.
Well, what's going on in the world of Gotta Run? Lots of things are finally happening.
Yes. We are back to live in-person racing. Island Lake Classic.
At least one of ours.
Yeah, we got one. We got one on the books. Island Lake Classic Labor Day Monday. It's going to be a reduced field.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have safety protocols in effect for COVID-19. We want everybody to be safe, including our runners, our volunteers. So there'll be a few changes, but you know what?
I think everyone's going to be happy just to be back.
Exactly, and so are we.
And registration is now live.
Yes, it is.
For Island Lake Classic. Check it out. GottaRunRacing.
That's right. And we're in a new month, so that means a new We Run the North National Park, Cape Breton Highlands in Nova Scotia. Another place we have not been.
Have not been.
Right?
Yes, we need to get east side and check out all these great places.
Sure do.
It's a small window of opportunity for our Canadian winters.
That's right.
So that's We Run the North, which is still happening.
Yes.
And the Monarch?
Monarch's still kicking.
Good.
It's
getting close. It's getting close.
We got a couple new states and provinces too. I think we had Rhode Island last week. So we're looking for more states and provinces so that we can get all of them covered.
And also virtual for Rainbow.
That's right.
Because we could not get the permit. But so Rainbow Trail Run has gone virtual again this year.
That's right. I mean, there's some pretty cool swag to be had for that.
Cool.
And today on the podcast,
Norma Roberts.
From Calgary, Alberta. Wow, I cannot wait to talk to Norma.
Yeah, she's 62 years young. Came second at Badwater this year.
Incredible.
And it only took a professional athlete, Simon McRae, to beat her.
That's right.
It only took her to beat Norma. And I can't wait to hear about this epic ordeal that she went through.
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
Coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, well, thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. So we just wanted to let you know how we found out about you. We had just interviewed Michele Graglia, who was running Badwater about a week after we spoke to him. So when we looked up the start list for Badwater, we saw a Canadian on the list and we said, well, we have to follow her as well. And lo and behold, you're our superstar.
Okay.
So we can't wait to talk to you about Badwater. But before we get to Badwater, we want to start at the beginning.
So when did you...
Okay. Well, I actually started running probably more in my late 20s, early 30s. And just, 10Ks and, didn't think too much of it. But I did pick the running sports in track and field growing up.
Okay.
And of course, that was in small town Saskatchewan, rural Saskatchewan. So it was, it was just a high school thing. And then after that, back in that day, you go get a job, you go to university or whatever, right? So it was just something on the side kind of thing. So.
Right.
Are you following the track at the Olympics now? Are you following track and field?
Oh, yeah. Andre Degrassi and yeah, some of those. It's fun to watch. That's right. Yeah.
Brings back memories.
Oh, it certainly does. It certainly does. Yeah. And how much has changed, especially in the running and and same with the ultra running. Like, I don't even know if I heard the word ultra running until quite a bit later in life. So,
well, that's interesting, because now we're wondering, how did you get into the ultra community?
right. Yeah. Well, I did running with running groups in Calgary. Not a lot, but and there was somebody that was 26 miles wasn't good enough, and they were doing 50 miles, and so then you start talking 100 miles. So just by talking and admiring what they were doing, so it's like, okay, I got to try this. So I'll see if my body can do it, and
Right.
you kind of inch your way into it. So
what was your first ultra, Norma?
My first ultra, it was a run across Calgary. It was a 50K running on the bike paths across Calgary, and I think they only had it the 1 year. So that's interesting. And that must have been, trying to think of the dates, maybe 2004, something along those lines.
Wow.
So you didn't try that until your 40s.
Yes, yeah. And again, I was working a lot, and just with the winter, I think we had some indoor tracks here. Yeah, we had indoor track in Calgary, some indoor running facilities. But it was just kind of hit and miss, and there wasn't as many races available locally.
So let's fast forward a bit to 2006, where you did Lost Souls.
Oh yeah, yes, and that was so much fun. That was my first 100K, so that was the new big distance, and I had trained a lot that year. I mean, like anything else, when you put some effort into training, or if you're studying for a course, the more time studying in that. And if you're really interested in what you're doing, you tend to do better. So I did have the training. And again, it's so interesting doing an ultra in 2006. The whole protocol was different. Like the first checkpoint at 50K, and it was a hot day, so they were I had to stand in line for probably a half an hour to get my temperature checked and the thermometer, and they only had, I think, one person doing it or something, and it was so that did help your time if you felt okay and wanted to keep running. So it was interesting, and just they didn't have salt tablets and things like that. Like that was we were just learning about muscle cramps, and and because it was my first one, I kind of listened to others, and so there was another section where people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be running that fast," like this is a long race. But now when I think about it, 100K isn't that long. And so I ended up walking another half an hour. So there was a lot of time that I probably could have done a little bit better at that one, but it was so much fun.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you not place first at female overall?
Yes, I did. But it was a slow time actually but it was the heat. A lot of people did have problems with the heat, and some had sat out for an hour and a half.
Wow.
Because of the heat throughout the race.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could have done better than first place.
She could have won it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
Now speaking of heat, when we were checking out the races that you've completed on Ultra Sign Up, it seems that you thrive in the heat. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because a lot of your races have been in Florida and California and Arizona, where it's hot.
Yes, yes, and I do love the heat. It's after being in Canada, it's like it is very enjoyable. And I guess even at an early age, there my body did adapt to that. Now, since I grew up in Saskatchewan, so we can have some hot days in Saskatchewan. Maybe not as humid as what you have in Ontario, but they'll get hot. It's quite hot. They're in the hundreds in the summers there.
Right.
So.
Would you say that you prefer those types of races over, say, maybe like a mountain race or something with a little bit more elevation? Do you think that that's your strength?
Stay flat.
Well, I do like the pavement and just keep running. I do like running, and I'm wanting to go back and do a little work on speed, because I'm okay to do like as boring as it sounds. I'm okay to do a 1 mile or 2 mile loop,
right,
and just do 50 to 80 or 100 miles on that. So I've actually trained for several of those races, the 24-hour, the 48-hour, but have not been able to get there because of the pandemic. So I've got like the last year and a half or 2 years, however long it's been, that I've delayed some of those races.
right.
So, but the trail world is fun. But there's a lot of challenges, and maybe it was a little more fun too. Maybe in my 50s there, like now it's a bit more of a challenge. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But it takes a lot of mental strength to go around loops. So I commend you for that, because I think you have to have a certain fortitude to get through that.
Yeah. It's when you're focused on something, you just kind of go.
How do you pick your races? What do you look for?
Track. Well, there I'm actually looking to see how close I could come to a record for my age group. In the there's the American Association of Ultra Runners, and of course there's the IAU, which is the International Association of Ultra Runners, and there's the Canadian. So I'm a member with the Canadian Association as well.
Right.
So you pick races based on, let's see if you can try to get some records. Is that the?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Like this year, I'm mixing that in, but I am planning to hopefully redo Badwater again.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping that one going. Yeah.
So let's talk Badwater.
Yeah. Let's get to Badwater. So we want to talk through.
How did you feel going up to Badwater?
Training.
Everything was feeling good about 2 or 3 days before Badwater.
Well, luckily, in a way, COVID kind of, because lots of times I'm working so much, my training is, just isn't quite what I want it to be. But one good thing about COVID, it kind of pushed me out of the work, or freed up my time, and so actually I had time off before Badwater race. So. And so I went down to the States actually at the end of May. And nice. Because of the border concerns and the COVID concerns, I thought I better get down there while I can in case that changes. So I actually went down there and stayed. I have friends in the Palm Springs area. So I went down there and stayed and trained for 2 months before the race.
Wow.
Almost 2 months. So now Palm Springs area has high temperatures, almost as high as Death Valley. I was in quite dry heat. Mm-hmm. Like the hottest I trained in was 114 degrees one day, and no clouds, no wind, just sun. And that one, it was really hard. So I actually didn't do the full day of running. I had to stop because my eyes were dry. My nose was so dry. my face actually, lips were cracking.
Oh.
And if you drank some water or any kind of liquid, you would still be thirsty right after that. So.
And this is training.
It was. This is training. And then I thought, maybe I'm overdoing it and the burn, like I had good lotion on, but the burn that you just felt so hot. So.
Why did you choose Badwater to begin with? What made you want to do Badwater?
Right. Well, when I was in my 40s and 50s there, that was a well-known international ultra. It was just something that everybody knew about. There wasn't as many races back then, and so they captured my eye. And some of the athletes who have gone through Badwater have just been phenomenal. Like they've done fantastic, like Lisa Smith, Bachman, and Pam Reed.
Well, let's get back to race morning.
Yes.
Or race evening.
You started at night and you're on the start line.
Right.
So how are you feeling on the start line of Badwater?
Right. So even with all the training and that, I was nervous, and we're at Furnace Creek and Stovepipe Wells. There was different parts, like there was like 2 days of being, at least 2 days you're there, just going through the meetings and preparing, getting all your bib and all this stuff, getting ready, getting your crew ready. And then you have to try and sleep the day of the race because you're going to be starting to run at 9:30 is when I started. There was one group that started at 8 p.m. and then the final group starts at 11. And how he separates them is maybe a little slower runners at the beginning, middle, and then the fastest runners at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we started, the race director, Chris Kosman, he's taking pictures and he gives you a spiel about what to expect over the course of the race. And so you're like, oh my God, please don't tell us what we're actually doing. So he's, so he repeats it, you're going 5,000 feet up to Panamint Springs. 5,000 feet up to Mountain Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to drop down 3,000 feet to Panamint Springs. Then you're going to climb again to go up to past Father Crawley and Mount Whit, and getting closer to Mount Whitney. Then you're going to drop down again, about another 3,000 feet, and then you're going to run 20 miles to Lone Pine, and then you're going to climb again another 5,000 feet and 13 miles. So.
And everyone's going, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that was like, okay. So we started the race, and again the wind was really quite heavy.
Was the wind at your back?
No, we're going against the wind.
Oh gosh.
We're going against the wind, and there's a bit of a slight climb, but not too much heavy climbing.
I'm just curious about the first 50 miles where the professionals started about 2 hours after you, about an hour and a half, 2 hours after you. And so at what point did they started passing you or coming up to you and
Yeah, well, I had a good time. I had a good time all the way to mile 100. So, I never noticed like Sally McRae there who won. I didn't notice when she had passed me actually.
Okay.
I missed it, but sometimes I think it was more later on that she had passed me. I think it was like way past Panamint Springs, because I think at Panamint Springs and even maybe even like around mile 80, I think there was a point where they were taking the officials were taking pictures of me that possibly I could come in first. So so I think for a while there I was actually, my time looked like I was in the lead. But of course she came in, her time was really good, like it was less than 31 hours. So
we're on mile 113 now. You did great up to then. You had a little bit of problems with food. So what about going into the final stretch?
And the climb.
Yeah. Is this happening in the daytime?
Yeah. Well, by the time when I got to Lone Pine and started going up the hill, it was getting like the last five miles going up the hill, the sun came up again. Yeah, because I finished running around 7 a.m. A little after 7:05 or something. I finished running. Like we kind of lost track of what miles where we were at. So we were asking different people coming down how many miles left. And like one person said, "Oh, you have 4 miles left," and the other person said, "Oh, you only got half a mile left." And so
that's typical ultra running.
That's so typical.
People just didn't know.
No.
And so I was kind of feeling like, I kind of didn't think I was going to get there when I wanted. I wanted to be there by 7. I was kind of hoping for that finish time. But I was kind of feeling like, hey, this might not happen, right? Like even walking and going, so I didn't know what to expect, really, up until, and then you're going around, you're doing a windy road going up, so you can't see where you're at the top. And when you look at the top, there's still a big mountain above where the Whitney Portal Road finishes. So at the finish line, and you can hear cheering because it's kind of a quiet race and people aren't finishing. There's campers up there, so so I didn't really know I actually finished until like the last 200 yards.
Oh wow!
So and then it was like, I was like, okay, well maybe I could have ran more the last section, but that's okay. I was just so glad to actually get there.
But you knew you were in second place the whole time, I guess. You knew you were in second place.
No, in fact, like I said, I had kind of a hint. I know that the officials were taking extra pictures of me along Panamint Springs and up to Darwin, like around mile 90. So I think they had an interest there. But I didn't have any idea. No, in fact, there were some really excellent female runners out there on the course, and I actually who started at 11 o'clock. But I thought they must have passed me, because I could have been whatever at the car. You can easily miss people who's going by.
Yeah.
So I had just assumed that they had already passed me. And so I was surprised. So I was surprised that I was second female. Wow. And when I first crossed, the race director said, he says, "I think you may be second, but we don't know because I started at 9:30.
Yeah.
And there's 11 o'clock women. Are they going to run this last section?" So, but within 45 minutes, he said, "Oh no, especially you've done second. There's no way they're going to catch you now." Yeah.
Did you break any records that day? Of your age
I
group?
did.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I did. Yeah, so that was nice. Like, I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to be finished by 7 a.m. Then I knew I would have broken that record. But like I said, coming up the hill, I had no idea if that would become a reality, because
well, let's tell our listeners, what is the record? What is the record you broke?
Oh, the record. Well, Pamela Chapman Markle had a record. I think it was like 34 hours, 34:03 or 34:04 that she had done the previous year. And now within the 3 years, she ran Badwater 11 times and improved her time each year.
Wow.
But yeah. So she had gotten faster each year, even if it was by 10 minutes. But so I mean, to finish the race each year, because each year is different, you might not feel as good. So that was quite an accomplishment. So, but
did you hear from her?
So it was exciting. Yeah. She congratulated me, and like I said, well, I said, you've done this 11 years and finished each time with so that to me was awesome. Yeah. So,
wow, Norma, I'm speechless. You're incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh my God.
The next time you race against Sally McRae, she's going to be watching out for you.
Yes.
The next time you race against Sally.
She is great. She's really phenomenal. And she's so motivated and yeah, she's
absolutely
great. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what's on your bucket list? So if you could put in order, like, number one, I need to do this race before my running career is over, what is it?
Right. Well, I think I would still go back and do Marathon Disabled, the one in the Sahara Desert.
Of course.
So I think some of the international, those top 10 international ones, there's that one. And then also the one going up Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc, the one that's in France, with all the, and I believe there's still an Amazon one out there. So so something exciting like that would be fun to do. I mean, now with the international travel, we'll see how that all works out.
Well, you're going back to Lost Souls after so many years this year, right?
Well, and now this is kind of interesting because I may have to. I'll see. I may have to cancel that because what I'm wanting to do, and I'm just putting the works in place now. I'll find out for sure here in the next few days. Is I'm actually wanting to do a solo event in Victoria for the university, the UVic. For a fundraiser, and this is from my niece who had been taking a course there at the UVic for environmental studies, and she unfortunately passed away here in 2013. So they actually have an endowment scholarship program. So I'm raising funds for a scholarship for one of these students in environmental studies. And the environment is really important, obviously, right now.
How can people support you in that endeavor? Is there a website they can go to?
Yes, and that would be the University of Victoria.
Okay. All right.
UVic, donation funding, environmental studies.
Okay.
But if we set this up, this event I'm sure it'd be easy to find on the website because they'll have it advertised.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted on that.
Okay, I certainly will. Certainly will. So because I would probably do.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I would probably do that within the first 2 weeks of September.
Okay.
So then it would be difficult to do Lost Souls Ultra, right? Right. So I may have to get it up. Yeah.
What's the distance for that, Norma?
For the, I was thinking something like 50 miles. I'll just decide on my course. I'm going out there in the next 2 days to look at what course I would do. I was thinking something like 50 miles a day for 5 days.
Okay.
Or I would do a 200 miles all at once.
Oh, that's a walk in the park.
So I'm looking.
No problem.
So I'm looking at something like that. Yeah.
Well, definitely let us know. Thank you so much. I couldn't wait to talk to you today because, like I said, we just found out about you and you're so inspiring. You're so positive and you're doing amazing things and keep it up.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I watched some of your previous podcasts and I can tell that you guys are really doing great too. And you're having a lot of fun. You're having a lot of fun with these podcasts,
Absolutely.
and your some of your charity runs. Like
Yes,
the
and
10K
thank you.
virtuals.
Thank you for signing up for those. The package is in the mail.
Okay, great. Because I love the magnets.
Oh,
On
yes.
the fridge. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, we have a couple rapid fire questions, if you don't mind. Rolling Stones or Beatles?
Rolling Stones. Yeah.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine. Do you have a tattoo?
No.
Would you get one?
No. No tattoos.
What's another sport you'd like to excel in?
Probably, I don't know, probably bodybuilding.
Ah, I think you have a head start on that. You look very fit.
Yeah. Okay.
My favorite junk food?
No, I like them all. I think, well, we used to really love chips, so I guess probably chips.
Which flavor?
Yeah.
Which flavor?
Probably all of them. Ripple. Ripple chips.
Okay, and Norm's favorite last question.
Pick a superpower that you would like to have.
A superpower. Probably be able to fly.
That's popular.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, thank you again, Norma. It's been awesome. We've really enjoyed speaking with you today.
We feel honored that you were on the first podcast.
That's right.
With us.
Thank you so much.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, and I look forward to seeing some of your next podcast.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And good luck in your Victoria adventure.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be a learning experience, and to learn a bit about the environment, some of the environmental issues out there from the students. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, have a great day, and we'll stay in touch.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jody and Norman. You too. Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You did great.
Okay. Thanks.
That's incredible.
Honestly, almost started crying at the end.
She's so much joy.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what they were saying about her every time she was running. It was just a constant big
Always
smile.
smiling.
They see her coming from miles away with a big smile on her face.
How could you not? And she is an OG, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, like limited crew, not a lot of food.
She bags her her aid stations.
She powers through wind and sand and no complaints, not one complaint ever.
No.
Honestly, wow.
I can't wait to if she ever takes on Marathon des Sables.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to hear about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get her back on. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it, Norma. You're amazing.
Okay. And that's it for us today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.
Cheers.